Hey everybody, here we have a 2008 Electra Glide. Going to talk about the charging systems. This is some tidbits for if you're doing the repairs at home, what to check for, what to do, what not to do. So we'll dive right into it. This bike came in, not charging, and first thing that we did was start up the bike, which it did start. The battery wasn't that dead, and we put a meter right on the battery, check for DC voltage. Generally you want 13.2 to 14.2 range. It might vary a little bit just depending on what the regulator's putting out. If you're getting low voltage, obviously it's not charging. If it's getting too high a voltage, in the 15 plus range, that is also not good. Chances are that's probably the regulator is not regulating the voltage that's coming out of the stator. This particular bike, the stator we ended up finding bad. As you can see, this leg right here is super charred and burnt up, and what happens is just over time these things see a lot of heat just being in the primary, especially if you're in some hot weather conditions. They see excessive heat and they happen to go. Sometimes there's no rhyme or reason for it, but one way to check these is this is actually AC voltage, not DC voltage, that's going to the battery. And how that works is the stator rotor, which is this guy right here, this is all full of magnets. When this is bolted up to here, this is stationary. Your crankshaft is obviously spinning, which is going to spin the rotor. And when those magnets go past those copper windings, that's going to create AC voltage. And the way to check that is to set your meter on AC voltage, and you should have on every single one of these leads put your negative, positive, same with this one, that one, this one, that one. All three of these should all be putting out AC voltage right out of the plug. If you find one that is really low or no voltage, chances are you'll probably have a burnt up stator, or possibly if you don't have it apart and you can't physically see something, we've also seen some of these magnets come off, which will not let it charge. And also it's important to check the splines. That usually happens on the earlier models, the 5-speed models. They have really wide splines, which is very common for those to tear those off, which what will happen with that is this will almost not spin or spin very slowly, not creating enough voltage out of the stator. This one was pretty obvious that it was burnt up. And another point to make is anytime we replace these stators and some of these I guess more sensitive electric parts, we tend to like to use the OE Harley Davidson parts, and the reason being, aftermarket parts sometimes they don't last as long, and this is a pretty big job. Nobody wants to go in there a second time if you don't have to. I mean, this bike has roughly 52,000 miles on it. So if it lasted 52,000 miles with the OE stator, chances are, hopefully you get at least that, maybe more. Another condition that'll take these out is your clutch, which that is over here on the bench. Obviously it's kind of under everything. It's also a good idea to check your compensator while you got all this stuff apart. Just inspect everything. There's the wear tensioner. It's got some light grooving. I'd consider that normal, but everything's looking pretty good other than the stator itself. And one other topic to touch on is the battery itself. these Harley Davidsons came from the factory with a lead acid type battery, and a lot of guys are talking about lithium batteries, and, you know, they're lighter, they have more cranking amps. The only problem that we've seen with putting the lithium batteries in is these charging systems were never designed to charge a lithium battery. So if you're thinking about putting in a lithium battery, it might be a good idea at the time to do a little bit of research, replace your stator and regulator rectifier with something that is more compatible with a lithium ion battery. And to go a little bit further into detail, lithium ion batteries do not like the excessive charge that a factory regulator rectifier puts out. Like I said before, these guys, you're probably going to end up with 13.2 to 14.2 voltage. Lithium ion batteries really don't like voltage above in the 13 range. So when you have a lithium ion battery that's on a factory charging system, you're putting possibly 14 volts to that lithium ion battery, which is too much and potentially will burn out that battery, which can then backfeed this stuff. And we've seen it before. Guy puts in a lithium ion battery and, well, my bike won't start. I tried to jump start it and it's actually taken out this, that. I've also seen some of the wiring harnesses get burned up. And another note to the lithium ion batteries is that they are specific on chargers. If you have a charger or a maintainer, it's a good idea to make sure that the charger or maintainer that you have is lithium ion compatible. And again, those chargers, maintainers will not put as much voltage to the battery, which will bring it back up to life and keep it good. So just a little tidbit on charging systems on these bikes, and this kind of goes for all of them, twin cams, M8s. So hopefully some of this little information helps, and thanks for watching.